Some bait fish emulator in pearl. It's nice and long, 5.5. Some red thread and some barred hackle for the ribs. Let's get started. So to get started, I just wrap myself a really nice solid base of red thread. I might even go a couple wraps and then finish up back by the hook, right by the barb. I'm gonna snip that off. I'll take my bait fish emulator. You can see it's just basically a store-bought brush. I do make brushes, but this looked really nice. It wasn't that expensive. So I'm just going to tie that in right there. Quite a few wraps here. Just make sure it's in there nice and solid. And then come up here. And now I am going to not cut this because you can use exactly the right amount every time and just make reasonably loose turns and just keep brushing it back as you go, keeping it untangled from itself. It's kind of hard when you got the first piece, and it's probably easier if I cut it, but in order to have lots left over, I don't like wasting this. That's pretty much it. This fly is pretty much all this material. And tie forward, so it's going to be about 6, maybe 7 wraps on this salmon steelhead shank. It's a mustad. And I'm not going to go too much further than that, maybe one more. Then I'm going to go back, tie that off. Add a couple capture wraps here. And I'm going to snip it now that it's captured to make this a little bit easier. Just make sure that's nicely laid back. And this is the 5.5 inch. Like, it's a big, nice streamer. It's so easy to tie. There's like really nothing to do other than that. The hardest part is going to be tying in the eyes, which I'm going to do next. So I have some lead barbelled hooks that are large and they have been plated in nickel. I've gone ahead and put a 3D eye on it already because I didn't want to get any glue on the actual collar that I'm going to put on here. I'll be pondering that on there. So I've actually put some, where is it now? I put some Solares on there just to secure the eyes a little bit better. So I'm just going to put one wrap over here and then twist it. And then lots of figure eights. You definitely want this to be solid. Lots of figure eights. Do a couple around. And then some more figure eights. Kind of just building up the head inside as well at the same time. Oops. Now at this point, it's a great idea to put a tiny bit of head cement In this case, where is my head cement? I don't know where it is, so I'm just going to put a drop of this Solaris UV in here. To make sure it gets rubbed. The best choice would have been my crazy glue. I do not know what I've done with it at this present moment. So I'll just rub that in there and then hit it with my light. Harden that up. Those are in there nice and solid. Now I'm going to tie in the 2 pieces of barred hackle. So I'm just going to look for 2 reasonably nice long barred. Now this was off of my own roosters. So there's one there. And that one's not long enough. Oh, okay, maybe the hardest part was picking my favorite hackle. All right, well, let's use this one. All right. Okay, so I've got 2 barred hackles. You could put them in at the same time, but I like them to go at least 3/4 of the way down. Now there's going to be some modifications to the one that you've seen tied on Sport Fishing on the Fly. Fantastic fly. I've just been having a little more success with, and I will show you in a second, a little bit of flaring gills. And you know, this is supposed to be a quick fly to tie, and it still will be. Okay, get those in there. Okay, so now I'm going to grab this little bit of red. Brand new, ran out today. Just get any one of these small barred feathers. And I'm going to strip it and expose a little bit there. And you don't want to cut these end pieces off because we are going to palmer them. So I'm just going to tie this in there. Reasonably tightly. And then move the line forward to the eye. And now I'm just going to take a couple wraps. And I might just use my hackle pliers because these ones are tiny. Just going to put a couple wraps in behind like so, and then I'm going to bring that forward, and then I'm just going to capture that with my line here, maybe. Okay, it's captured. I can take that off. Just knock everything off the bench. Just a quick snip without cutting the line. Then I am going to turn these just to give it a little bit of collar, and I mean just a little bit of collar. That's it. Now I'm going to capture those. I know what you're thinking. That's not a very pretty fly, but you would be wrong, because the bull trout and lake trout think this is gorgeous. So now you'll be snipping off all 3 pieces here at once, and just clean those little pieces up off from underneath. And that's it. And now we just want to whip finish this Yeah, that's something I didn't look for before I started. Where are you? Okay, now, so you want to do about 3 or 4 whip finishes in behind the eye. And just 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just repeat that a couple times. Just gonna have to twist a little bit of this fly here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can attach a tiny bit of head cement in behind there too if you want to, but you have to be careful not to get it onto the collar that you just put on there. And come off of there. And that's it. Cut the thread. And that is one fishable fly. Now, I do like the little red collar underneath. It's, like I said, it's the small modification that I've made to this. And I love it. It's really seemed to pick up a few more strikes. And this also seems to get a few more strikes on the side. But anyway, that's the modified white lightning. Give that a try. Super, super simple to tie.